Yeah, I definitely agree with that because I'm also in Gen Z, and it's so crazy because yesterday I was talking to someone slightly older, kind of like a mentor,
Yeah.
and really just pouring out everything,
Yeah.
because that's very valid. Like the world is very different, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I guess from when you were much younger, I feel like right now a lot of things are uncertain, especially like after COVID. Because I finished college within COVID, so college shut down, and I finished it at home. And I was like, what's going on? This was not the plan that
Right.
I had. And just really trying to figure out a lot of things with
Yeah.
the economy kind of being unstable. So I definitely see, how Brighton comes in and giving people around my age and my generation a sense of purpose, and
Yeah.
really looking forward to something. So I think that's a very great idea. So I guess coming from, this idea that you had, you're in the RV, you're all around the US, exciting, really living out in purpose. At what point did you realize, you needed an app? How did
Yeah.
the talk about an app really come into it?
Well, I also am at a stage in my life. I'll be 57 in a couple of weeks, but I want to challenge myself. I want to keep learning. And
Mm,
if you're not learning, you're dying. And
okay.
so I know nothing about an app. I mean, if you ask people that knew me, what are 5 things that Jeff would never do? One of them is fly a plane. The other one is build an app. I mean, literally, I have a hard time with my phone. I just learned how to copy and paste like 3 years ago.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, coding and all this stuff is like not my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So I hired Emily off of LinkedIn
Okay.
to kind of be my full-time managing director before I had anything to manage.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate that I'm in a good financial position where I can bootstrap this project for a while, but ultimately, we're going to need investors. I'm going to need to get to where I want to go and get this in the hands of every Gen Zer on the planet, is
Mm,
going to be monumental. And I can't do that alone. So this has been so exciting for me to see kind of behind the scenes with talking to Paul and Jason
yeah.
and Gingy and, building this thing out from scratch. I didn't know what MVP was. I didn't know really much about seed funding. And I just
Yeah.
had this dream of saving lives for young adults, and
Yes.
not just saving lives, but giving them a sense of purpose. So all my hard work, when I die and leave my inheritance, not just financial inheritance, but my intellectual inheritance, what we leave behind to the next generation is more than just your 401k and your IRA. I hope it is. It's pretty shallow if all you leave is money. um, that I want to be able to have that next generation say, wow, this idea that this weird guy in Iowa came up with, this has been really something that's the glue to my life. And that's my goal. And I know the first version of Brightn will be a difficult one, but as you know, with apps and so forth, the new versions, the second versions get better and better. So, um,
Definitely. So you decided you need an app. How did you find 3Advance? What were you looking for in an app developer?
well, considering I didn't know what an app developer was, I didn't have a list of what I'm looking for because I had
Yeah.
no idea what I was looking for. I was literally thrown into an airplane and saying, okay, land this thing.
Yeah.
And so Emily reached out to 3 software development companies that she got off of some rating system. So number one, you guys
Okay.
at 3Advance must have been rated really high
Okay.
through comments or, whatever they do to come up with ratings.
Come up with ratings. Yes.
Yeah. And so Emily kind of vetted, and there was 3Advance and there was some other companies. We actually talked to each president. And so Paul was the one we talked with initially. I shared him my dream. He expressed the concerns with the proliferation of mental health apps coming to the market. Why is
Yes.
yours different? So Paul did a good job of making sure that I was realistic with this goal of ours.
Go. Yes.
I think the very decision we made in hiring Paul and 3Advance was so pivotal, was so key. And one thing that really stuck with me, that was probably the differentiator between 3Advance and the other companies we talked with. They were going to take us to launch. 3Advance was going to take us through launch.
Okay.
Big
Okay.
difference.
You
Big
do want to
difference.
explain to us?
Well, if they take us right to launch, then once I launch, everything afterwards is basically I'm basically on my own. And
Okay.
and
Okay.
and that was how they presented it to me. Now, maybe I interpreted it wrong. Maybe they just did a poor job of presenting it to me. But I thought,
Yes.
I don't want to do that. I don't want
Okay.
someone to build this Lamborghini for me and then hand me the keys and walk away. I mean, so
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
Paul was adamant, hey, you can hire us and we'll work through, we'll help you market, So that was a big thing for me. It wasn't just building this thing, was the next few steps so I can get self-sufficient, so I can hire some staff, so we can raise the seed money. Deal. And then in talking to Paul and some of the other people that shared some personal stories with us,
Yeah.
I found out that the people that are helping me build this have their own set of challenges when it comes to mental health.
Yeah.
Again, it just validates that no one's immune to this. You could be a software developer from Ireland. You could be a
Yeah.
dad living in Iowa. Mental health doesn't care.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't.
Depression doesn't care. Substance abuse doesn't care. They don't care what color you are, what sex you are, where you live, how much money you have. It's on your doorstep, on your back porch. And so I want Brightn to be that thing where Gen Z can go to in times of need, whether it's crisis mode, they can go to and figure out who to call, or they just need someone to pat them on the back and say, hey, you're doing a good job. Keep up the good work.